What's up, Razorback fans? I am Emery Hall Jr., and this is Hog Heaven Sports. Today we're going to be talking about the class of 2021's early signing day and the haul that the Arkansas Razorbacks brought in this early signing period. So, for those of you that don't know, there's two signing days now. Started last year, I believe, in 2019. The first signing period is in December, and the second one is the normal one in February. Um, This time around, Arkansas ranked 21 on ESPN and ranked 20 on 247 Sports as class rankings. In my opinion, that is about as accurate as can be. They did an amazing job addressing the needs that they had on the entire team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Um, in my opinion, they are on the right trajectory and getting to the top 15 and top 10 where Sam Pittman and the rest of the coaching staff wants to be on a year in and year out basis. So, with that being said, let's get into who they brought in, what positions they addressed, and what we can be looking forward to in the future with the Arkansas Razorbacks under the helm of Sam Pittman. The first position we're going to be talking about today are the quarterbacks. First off, we're going to start with Landon Rogers out of Little Rock, Arkansas. He is a 6'4", 215-pound dual threat quarterback, and he played at Parkview in the Central Arkansas in Little Rock. In my opinion, he is a type of quarterback like the quarterback Arkansas Razorbacks just had in Felipe Franks. They're built similar in stature, and although Felipe Franks is about 2 inches taller and about 15 pounds heavier. Landon Rogers' 2020 stats were 19 of 150. 92 of 150 for 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns, and 150 rushes for 1,100 yards and 22 touchdowns. So as you can see, he is definitely a dual threat quarterback that can get it done with his strong arm and as well as his dual threat ability with running the ball with his legs. And next we have Lucas Coley out of San Antonio, Texas. He is a 6'2", 205-pound dual threat quarterback and a 4-star rated quarterback on ESPN. His 2020 stats were 1,100, over 1,100 yards passing and 13 touchdowns, and 500 yards rushing and 11 touchdowns. He had a shortened season this year. He only played 11 games compared to the 14 or 15 he would have had in a regular season, a normal season in the state of Texas. In my opinion, he is comparable to the quarterback we have now on the roster and KJ Jefferson. He can definitely throw the ball a good 60 yards down the field with ease, with the flick of a wrist. And he's also a great runner of the ball when he needs to. Next are the running backs that they brought in. And honestly, I believe that this was a big need of the Arkansas Razorbacks this year with Rakeem Boyd leaving and the depth that they had this year in 2020 was depleted deeply when Monte Spivey decided to transfer out of the program. First of these running backs, we have A.J. Green out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He is 5'11", 194 pounds, and a 4-star, rated by 247 Sports and as well as ESPN. His 2020 stats are 1,300 yards rushing and 19 TDs. In my opinion, he is a comparable back to the back we had a while back when Darren McFadden was back in the program. He comes from the same state as Felix Jones, so I'm going to compare him to Felix Jones as far as the breakout speed and the vision that he has to make the long run at the end of the day. And second of the Razorback running backs, we have Javion Hunt out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. He is 6 foot, 205-pound running back and a 4-star rated running back off of ESPN. His 2020 stats reads as 774 yards and 12 touchdowns, which he won 3 back-to-back state championships in the state of Oklahoma. In my opinion, the Razorbacks got 2 great running backs that they needed and they could have for 3 to 4 years and build their program around. And next we have the wide receivers brought in by wide receiver coach Jonathan Stepp. In my opinion, Arkansas did an amazing job bringing in these wide receivers as usual. The last few years while Justin Stepp has been on the staff, he's brought in 4-star after 4-star after 4-star wide receiver. And we can see that coming on the field and paying big dividends for the Razorbacks, as you see Traylon Burks and Trey Knox have big seasons in their freshman and sophomore seasons. First, we're going to start off with Keytron Jackson out of Royce City, Texas. He is a 6'2", 190-pound wide receiver and a 4-star in 247 Sports and ESPN. 2020, he had stats of 39 catches, 765 yards, and 10 touchdowns. In my opinion, he is comparable to the wide receiver Arkansas already have on the team, and Mike Woods out of Texas as well. Second, we have Raheem Sanders out of Rockledge, Florida. He is 6'2", 210 pounds, and a 4-star wide receiver on the 247 site and ESPN. He's a multi-purpose wide receiver and running back. 2020 yielded his stats as 317 rushing yards, 4 TDs, and 24 catches, 391 yards, and 4 TDs. In my opinion, he is a kind of athlete in the mold of a Traylon Burks, which is also on the staff and on the team is already in the year of 2021 coming up. Next, we have Jaden Wilson out of DeSoto, Texas. He is 6'3", 172 pounds, and a 3-star receiver on multiple sites. In 2020, he yielded 25 catches for 488 yards and 8 touchdowns. In my opinion, I will have to compare him to a wide receiver in the mold of a Greg Childs from the Bobby Petrino era. He will go up and get passes over anybody, and he's not afraid to go over the middle to get any kind of catch. And last but not least, we have Bryce Stevens out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. He is 6 foot, 170 pounds, and a 3-star wide receiver. He yielded 32 catches in 2020 for 686 yards and 9 touchdowns. He is also a track star running at least 10-20 in the 100-meter dash. Next, we have the tight ends. Arkansas only brought in one tight end this go around, and his name is Aaron Outley out of Little Rock, Arkansas. He is a 6'4", 255-pound, 3-star tight end out of Parkview High School as well. He missed the 2020 season with a torn meniscus injury, but his 2019 stats yielded 48 catches, 721 yards, and 8 touchdowns. In my opinion, I would compare him to a Bobby Petrino era tight end and DJ Williams. He is amazing after the catch, and he doesn't care who is on him. He's going to go up and get the ball regardless. Next, we have the offensive linemen brought in by the Arkansas Razorbacks. They brought in 3 offensive tackles in this class. First, we'll talk about Terry Wilson out of Parkin, Arkansas, by way of Wynn High School. He is 6'5", 305 pounds, and a 4-star offensive lineman. Next, we have Devin Manuel out of Sunset, Louisiana. He is 6'9", 292 pounds, and a three-star offensive tackle. And last, we have an offensive tackle out of Bogota, Texas, Cole Carson, at 6'5", 290 pounds, and a three-star offensive tackle. I honestly believe all three of these guys will be a red shirt coming in. They will sit 1 year to gain strength and mobility for playing in the SEC and going against the best defensive linemen that they'll go against in all of college football. And next we have the defensive linemen. Arkansas brought in three defensive tackles this time around. One JUCO defensive tackle ranked the number one defensive tackle out of junior college. He is Jalen Williams out of Tylertown, Mississippi. He is a sophomore coming in from junior college. And he is also 6'3", 310 pounds, and a three-star defensive tackle. Next, we have Cameron Ball out of Atlanta, Georgia. He is a 6'5", 305-pound defensive tackle, and he is a three-star. 2020 yielded his stats as 42 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, and 4 sacks in only 6 games. And last but not least, we have Solomon Wright, another defensive tackle out of VN, Oklahoma. His 2019 stats are yielded as 124 tackles and 14 sacks. 2020 stats reads as over 90 tackles and over 10 sacks as well. And next we have the linebackers brought in by the Arkansas Razorbacks. First we have Christopher Paul Jr., 6'1", 225 three-star linebacker out of Cordell, Georgia. He registered 91 tackles, 24 loss, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 block punt in the 2020 season. And next we have Marco Avant, 6'3", 212-pound linebacker out of Jonesboro, Arkansas. He is also a three-star linebacker, registering 91 tackles, 3 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. In my opinion, both of these guys will be also red-shirted and will also need 1 year, maybe 2, in the weight room to get bigger, stronger, and faster. Next, we have the defensive backs. First, we have Chase Lowry. He is out of Frisco, Texas, and the cornerback. He is 6 foot and 180 pounds and a three-star cornerback. 2020, he yielded 26 tackles, 4 interceptions, 1 pass breakup, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 forced fumble. And we have Keon Parker out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He is a 5'11", 173-pound, three-star cornerback, and he yielded 20 tackles, 1 for a loss, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble in 2020. I honestly believe both of these guys will compete for a starting job or maybe depth positions in 2021 because of the depth and the lack of depth the Arkansas Razorbacks have in the secondary. Next, we have more defensive backs. And we have Jermaine Hamilton Jordan out of Kansas City, Missouri. He is 6'1", 195 pounds, and a three-star safety. He registered 91 tackles, 17 for a loss, 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, and 1 forced fumble. Next, we have Jaden Johnson out of Cedartown, Georgia. He is a 6'2", 205-pound, three-star safety. And he registered 17 tackles, 3 interceptions, 1 pass breakup, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery in the 2020 season. I honestly believe Jaden Johnson will redshirt and Jermaine Hamilton Jordan will play significant time this year in the cornerback slash safety position, which they call the hybrid position for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Last but not least, we have specialist Cameron Little out of Moore, Oklahoma. He is a kicker and punter, rated the number 1 kicker in the class of 2021 by 247 Sports. In 2020, he yielded 6 out of 10 field goals with a long of 49 yards. and 24 out of 24 extra points. 100% from extra points, something Arkansas definitely needs in the arsenal. He also had 41 punts and 9 inside of the 20-yard line. So Arkansas definitely need Cameron Little on the staff, on the team right now. Arkansas struggled mightily with special teams, and they need help there immediately. In my opinion, Arkansas had an amazing class this year in 2021. I honestly believe they're only going to go up from here, and I honestly anticipate the class of 2022 to have a top 15 or top 10 yielding at the end of the year. I honestly project Arkansas to win at least 6 games next year in 2021 and go to a bowl game to better their chances in improving from year to year. I want to thank you guys for listening to Hog Heaven Sports. You have a great rest of the weekend and an amazing holiday season.